Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today. What we're going to do is talk a lot about some different techniques that you can use with the Benzinga Pro platform. So what you guys should be seeing on your screen right now is the Benzinga Pro register page. If you guys go to this website right here that I'm highlighting at the top of your screen, type that into a browser. You guys can then sign up for a free trial if you do not have it. After you create your email with your password, you can then go to log in, use the same information that you just created, select log in, and you will be on the platform. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make it a little bigger for you guys so you can all see it. And I'm going to go ahead and turn off this ticker bar right at the bottom just so it's a little clearer for you guys. What else I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a quick question into the chat so you guys know where you guys can ask questions, and we will make sure to get to those questions as we are going through the webinar. So please let us know what you guys would like to learn a little more about, and we will make sure to set the webinar up to cover those things. So I'm just dropping in. So my name is Mike Marshall. I'm with Benzinga Pro. I'm on the product team over here, product and sales team. So what I've been doing is working very closely with our users, with our development team, and making sure that you guys have a platform that is exactly what you're looking for. So if you guys have feedback on how we can improve the platform or any features that you guys are looking for, please send them to us. We would love to add them onto the platform, put them on our development roadmap, and make sure you guys are getting exactly what you're looking for. So that is kind of the growth strategy of Benzinga Pro and what we're trying to build. So I introduced myself, Mike Marshall. We also do have our special guest educator today, Mr. Brent Slava. Brent, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Mike. What?
No problem, Brent.
Hey, everybody.
So yeah, over the next 25, 30 minutes, what you guys are going to do is learn a little bit more about all these little features over here, and we're going to tell you guys how you guys can leverage them to gain an edge. Just a little reminder though, this is all just information and not intended for you guys to make trading decisions on. So as we get started here, Brent and I will just kind of be going back and forth, and we will be looking for you guys to be sending in some questions.
Send in the questions.
So we can make sure you guys are learning what you guys were hoping to learn. So Brent, where should we get started?
All right, so why don't you give them a quick rundown of what are these things? Your mouse over this little square thing right here, what is that thing?
Yeah, absolutely. So just a reminder as we get started, what we're going to go over is just the advanced techniques, how to leverage the Benzinga Pro platform. So we're going to be going through a little bit of our news feed. You'll see the news feed right here, the details, which would be individual security details or hedge fund details. The calendars, which would be our earnings calendars, corporate calendars, analyst ratings.
There's like 10 to 12 of them, right?
Yep.
There's a bunch of them.
Yep, absolutely. And then we'll show you guys, quickly browse through how to set up a watch list.
Sweet.
So what you guys see here is I just selected the news feed, and you guys can come up here and rename your feed if you wanted. I'm not going to right now, but you could also set up a few of them. So just like tabs on your browser.
Yep.
Excellent. So Brent, what was some news today that our users could have gained an edge on?
Okay, so how about, let's see, we had some exclusive commentary. Let me do a little functioning here. So I'm going to jump ahead of you for a sec, Mike, and we're going to go over your filter. I can't remember the exclusive that we had today. I'm going to filter by exclusive. So check this out. This is actually pretty cool. So there was, I believe, a Bloomberg report. Do you want me to actually go into like a news item?
Well, yeah, let's see what we could have done.
Okay, sweet. So there was a Bloomberg story today that was saying that GM is involved in I think the exact sort of phrase that was used was like a Volkswagen-like allegations related to their diesel emissions. So really concerning news. If we pull up the chart on GM, And I can do that by just clicking on the ticker right here. It's going to pop open a details page over here. Here's a little chart. This is kind of the, sort of generic chart a little bit. You can click the chart button and get some more advanced charting. But look, this is when that Bloomberg headline hit, that big red bar. And that was about 11 o'clock this morning. Stock fell from, 33.25 down to, what was the session low? About below 32 bucks actually. So what happened here? So leveraging some of our contacts, Benzinga is in Detroit. Motor City, we have some pretty high level contacts over at GM and some of the automakers. We got the statement from GM. Actually, GM, we reached out to GM and said, hey, GM, are you going to respond to this? They said, yes, we're going to respond to this. We're going to have a statement out shortly. We said, can we get our hands on that statement so that we can have one of our reporters start looking at it and kind of breaking out a good article? I said, that's sure, that's fine. So we actually got to post GM's response about 30 or 40 seconds before the top auto reporter in the industry published his headlines. Not a ton of time, but GM actually didn't issue a press release. I still don't believe that they've issued a press release. So this is a case where we are going to be like a few hours ahead of the companies actually giving out some of this information.
Wow. So yeah, and I think if you guys are traders or day traders out there, you guys understand the importance of the seconds and the minutes. So definitely an advantage that you could have gained by using the Benzinga Pro platform.
And actually, I want to say, Mike, that one of these, there's a few bigger green bars. Mouse over one, I think it was like maybe that bar right there or maybe that bar right there. That was the response that our headlines got. So we published this headline over here. Highlight that headline real quick, Mike. You know what? That was actually, yeah, that was it. So that headline right there created a little bit of that action in GM, let's say around 12:30 or so.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that is a decent little pop right there on the chart, and kind of leveraging the Pro platform. So what we see here is we see all of our headlines coming in as red, and then when we select the filters button here, we see that there's 3 other categories that are all highlighted red. We're going to try and do a little refresh here. Looks like we're having a little internet issue here at home base.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. And we do actually have a question, Mike.
So, yeah,
so maybe we can take oh, here we go. We got a little action.
So, William, thanks for the question. Interactive Brokers, they do have different access than you're seeing here on Benzinga Pro. You should get a few of the channels from Benzinga, but you're not going to get them all. So,
do you know which ones William's not going to be getting, or any other IBKR users out there?
So they'll be getting pretty much all of them except these 3 red ones, which are kind of the more powerful stories over here at Benzinga.
Absolutely.
So, Interactive Brokers is a great platform, but they are not getting the exclusive content in real time from Benzinga. It would be a little bit of a delay, just to let you know that.
And I don't really know how that deal works. Do they get the platform inside of the IB platform?
Nope. So they have if anyone has ever used Interactive Brokers, they just have, you can select the sources that are going to be streaming your news, and it will be coming in a different format. It will look a lot different. You won't have all the features. You won't have the audio squawk.
You won't be able to do something like keyword search, right?
Exactly.
That was kind of the thing that I was trying to highlight.
Yep, absolutely. Thanks for that, Brent. So we have these 3 channels, and as you guys noticed, they were red, highlighted red right around them. And that is showing you guys that's which color it's going to be coming through your news feed as. Just going to try and close a couple of things.
I think your computer is dying right before our eyes.
I think it is. So yeah, I really apologize to you guys out there. Looks like my computer is really struggling.
Let's see what we can do here.
Yeah.
Hang tight with us for another few seconds here, ladies and gentlemen. See if we can get this straightened out.
I'm going to go ahead and try and open up a new browser as
Okay.
well, so please, guys, just bear with me here.
I guess this is the time where you.
Yeah, Brent, entertain them. Entertain our guests.
my best jokes. I was just gonna do that one stupid joke about what kind of chip you got in there, Dorito. Or, you know, you can do the old, why don't you kick that hamster a little bit more? Well, no, you don't kick the hamster, but you get them and go. You get them going, you know. Get that wheel turning a little bit harder.
Let's go. All right, we're gonna try something new here, folks.
So what are you using here? Using Firefox,
I
right?
was using Firefox. I get notifications coming through my Google Chrome, and I should have known better.
I got you. Okay, so Chrome looks like it's working okay, right?
Yep.
Okay, sweet. So Chrome, this isn't an issue that we have with Firefox necessarily. I think your Firefox is just a little clunky.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. So are we good? Are we good, Mike?
I think we are good right now.
Somebody in the audience, if you don't mind, please send in a message. Let us know that your screen looks okay. It looks like Mike's computer here is processing all right. Please send in to the chat. Let us know it looks okay. Looks okay on our end. We want to confirm with everybody that it looks okay out there. So please send in.
All right.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, William. Okay, we're sounding good. We're looking good.
All right.
Let's do this.
All right. Take it from the top. Here we go. So what you guys should see here, we'll pick up right where we left off. We have these 3 boxes that are outlined as red, and those are going to be our premium exclusive channels. They come with all the levels of the Benzinga Pro, but you know what the news desk is trying to do by having these come through as red is alert you guys and make sure you guys know what exactly is coming through.
We want to make sure you're not missing any of our exclusive content that we feel is pretty high level.
Absolutely. And what I'm doing here, you can go over to the settings right here, and you could select options, and you could say you want all your options activity to come through as blue. You could set up another theme, and you could say I want my BZ signals to be coming through as yellow.
Sweet.
Ish.
So how does this look now? Take us back out and show us how this looks.
So now we see that the options is highlighted as blue, our source BZ signals is highlighted as yellow, and it's indicating that there right on our filters. So now we know anything that's coming through in these different sources or categories are going to be color identified.
So what was that? It's gone now. There was just an orange band. You didn't set any kind of customization for orange. What was that? Did you see that?
I did. I believe, Brent, you would be able to shed a little more to our listeners on what that was.
Sweet. So that was actually I was trying to throw you a softball there. So what that is anytime, and maybe we can see it here in a sec. Anytime a new headline or story hits your Benzinga Pro feed, it's going to alert you by kind of flashing as an orange. As the few seconds go on, it's going to kind of dim out, and by the end of, I don't know, let's say 5 to 6 or 7 seconds, it's going to be like a very faded, kind of orange, kind of yellowish. At 8 seconds, it's gone. You can't tell that it's new anymore, but it's kind of this little gradient that is sort of going through and trying to alert you to new stuff, just like some of the customizations that you set here for options and BZ signals.
Excellent. Speaking of options and speaking of BZ signals, let's go ahead and just turn on our turn off our BZ wire, so we're only seeing BZ signals.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and change that yellow color so we're not all wondering what the hell we're doing over here. And we'll just turn that to blue.
Okay. It's a little easier on the eyes.
A little easier on the eyes.
Okay.
So Brent, we have a few different things that will be coming through the signals. We'll have our spiking activity, we'll have block trades, we'll have option alerts, and we will also have halts.
Trading halts.
I believe there's a little bit of something that we should know about each of those. So which one do you want to start with?
And actually we have just recently started getting 52-week highs and lows.
Excellent.
So that was one you forgot about there, and I see like go down here, here's like a PPL. Notice that one there. So it's just alerting you to that, the fact that the stock just now, at that time stamp, 346, hit a new 52-week high. So we kind of started there. Just checking out. There you go.
Yeah.
Nice. So just today, just over the last however long, new 52-week high. Let's jump into some of these other ones and kind of broader, kind of more zoomed out. The content that you're seeing in Benzinga Pro, the large portion of it is generated, hand typed out, hand curated, hand aggregated by reporters on our news team, on our news desk.
Man, how cool is that? That isn't happening anymore in this industry, is it?
It doesn't, and I mean, there are definitely, you know, just to be open, just to be honest, there's definitely some pain spots that we have dealing with that. There's also some really good things, like really quick example for today that I've seen. This happened. I've seen some headlines coming through. What happened is it was a U.S. Steel headline. U.S. Steel earnings are just out. That's what this one wire was telling me, and I'm going, no, U.S. Steel earnings out were out a couple weeks ago, I think. So what happened is one of another publication's news reading algorithm picked up a press release. It was a press release coming from a shareholder suit law firm, basically saying that there's going to be some kind of suit against U.S. Steel because of its earnings report. This is stuff that happens. You get 100 of these a day. They don't mean anything. And so the other publication's news algorithm read this release that was not related to the earnings at all and published headlines like it was a fresh earnings report that was just coming out of U.S. Steel. This did move the stock. So again, there are some definite benefits to having everything be automated, but there are definitely some detriment to that. So real quick step back. So everything you're going to see from Benzinga Wire, that's the other source that we just turned off, is handpicked. It's either a headline or it's a Benzinga.com story. Everything that you're going to see from Benzinga Signals, here's your Benzinga Wire mic showing you right now.
So this is all hand typed out.
Whether it's a headline going to Benzinga Pro only, there's not a ton of body to it. Like, for example, this WEBK dividend right here, that's all there is to it. It's just the headline. It's out with this news is out within a few seconds of the press release actually hitting. You're also going to get Benzinga.com stories here. And Benzinga.com stories are going to be providing you with, you know, some trading ideas, a little bit more interesting, a little bit more fun content than just your regular old headlines.
Excellent. So now let's talk a little more about the BZ Signals.
So Benzinga Signals, this is the automated, right now this is the only part of your Benzinga newsfeed which is automated, and we would only do this if we were comfortable with the system that we've developed to hit some of these automated alerts. So what's going on with all of these alerts, whether it's the spikes or the halts or the black trades, our system is monitoring the market multiple times a second. It's flagging as many stocks as we can look at, and it's basically reacting to real things that are happening in the actual trade, for most cases, in the actual trade of these securities. There was a block trade in HOG today at about 350. There was about 1 million shares of HOG. For whatever reason, we don't know why the reason, we just want to look at the interest as to why there was just 1 million shares of HOG that traded. So this was happening in real time. This block trade probably went to the board within a half a second of our alert. So again, all of these BZ signals are very real time. They're very timely. They're happening because there's something in the market that's taking place and our system is responding. So kind of a long intro there. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, took a little bit long, but let's go into some of these. So spikes. You can have a stock spike higher, you can have a stock dip lower. What you're getting with this phrase spiking here, and I'm just going to turn, as we're doing this, I'll just turn each of these only on by doing a keyword search, meaning if I type in spiking, we're only going to see the BZ signal alerts that have the word spiking in it. So what we're getting here is some kind of dramatic price action over a short amount of time in these stocks that we're watching here. So you can see the extent varies. Look at this one on SPI. In SPI, the stock must have moved about 11% within a matter of a few minutes, and this trigger went off. As your factor kind of comes down and, you know, it's only like a 1% move lower, your time scale is also going to be reduced, meaning it's more impactful for a smaller move over a shorter amount of time, and it's more impactful for a larger move over a longer amount of time. Does that make sense how I said that?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So again, it's within a half a second. If the move is much smaller, you'll get an alert. If the move is more extended, it'll take a longer time for that trigger to go off. So use these as, if nothing else, an indication that there must be something going on in Costco right now. There must be something going on in Deckers right now. With these BZ signals, what you can do a lot of the time is let it start some of your own research. Of course, you want to see the headlines for why Costco's moving in Benzinga Pro right before or after this alert hits. But if that's not the case, if something happened and we didn't know what the news was, or we didn't get, if there was no news, at least you can go start looking around for on your own research. You can maybe hit up the news desk and ask them what's going on, that kind of thing. Let's keep going through these really quickly. So let's do halt. So it's kind of odd today, but there was only
halts.
Oh, halt.
Try
a halt. Let's see what halt does. I think it did the same thing.
Yep.
So there wasn't any halts today on the market. It looks like this SYT halt was something that we've had over the last couple of days. So we're still waiting on the news there. But what happens here is we're reading indications from the NASDAQ, we're reading indications from the NYSE, and those exchanges have to alert people when they've had to halt a stock, and you're going to get an alert on it. You're going to, in most of the time, most of the cases, it's going to be halted with this code here, news pending.
Which is also what, T1?
T1 is the sort of like official SEC classification for it. It's what it sounds like. If you get a halt with news pending, it means that probably pretty soon, within the next 20 minutes to an hour, you're going to get some kind of notable news out of the company. A quick little pro tip, you're not going to get this anywhere else, I don't think. A quick little pro tip, just from years of experience of doing news, the NASDAQ halts are a lot more impactful than the NYSE halts. So again, just sort of like a little tip there. I've found that for whatever reason, the NYSE will sometimes halt a stock, and you get some news and you kind of be like, I don't really think that was that big of news. I wonder why they halted it. We don't know why they halted it, but when the stock resumes, it moves up or down like, 0.5%. Basically, it didn't really seem like very material news. However, on the other side, NASDAQ, if you see a halt for a NASDAQ stock, you can definitely expect that there's going to be some pretty notable price action when that stock resumes. And you can get indications on when these stocks are going to resume, and that would be your code T3 here. And it's going to tell you pretty blatantly this is the resumption time. So what happened here is PBYI shares at 145, our system alerted you that right now the quote is becoming open. In the next 5 minutes, it's going to resume. And that's what happened at 150. It did resume.
Excellent. Thank you, Brent. Excellent. So if there's any questions that you guys have on halts or spiking, drop them in. We're about to go over some block trades and options.
Sweet.
Jason, got your question. Brent, do you understand that?
Jason's asking, what does it look like for just one SAC symbol? So I'm not quite sure what you mean there, Jason. Hit us up, let us know a little bit more detail what you're looking for. We'll definitely get you an answer. And let's keep going. Let's do block trades. Cool. So this is relatively new to Benzinga Signals. Still sort of getting used to it. It's really an awesome resource. And what's happening here is let's use like Activision Blizzard right here. It's this alert that hit at about 309, let's say. So our system is watching all these stocks trade. All of a sudden, we notice that there's a block of 1 million shares of Activision at about 59.32 or so. What do we do there? Well, I get a lot of questions. I get people chatting in a lot of times, and they say, hey, the block trade doesn't show if it's a buy or a sell. And it doesn't quite work that way. Most people understand that it's a zero sum. There's always a buyer and always a seller. So if you can't tell if block trade, 1 million share block trade at Activision Blizzard was bullish or bearish, what you can do, and here again, it's sort of like a little bit of a pro tip. You definitely know that there's some kind of interest in this name right now. Let that start some of your research. And for some of that research, what you can do in a name like Activision Blizzard, a couple things to think about here. Activision Blizzard, what you can do is you can go find a list of the top shareholders in Activision Blizzard right now, and you can sort of deduce, I would say, that there's probably maybe only a few funds that could make a trade like that. There's probably only a few funds who would be interested to buy or sell 1 million shares at a time. So what you can do is you can sort of like knock a majority of the holders off of a list, and basically you can say, okay, 1 million shares, there's really only 5 funds that could have made that trade, and I'm making this up right now, just for example. There's really only 5 funds that could have made that trade. Do we know a little bit about some of those funds? Do we know what their past conviction in Activision Blizzard has been? Are they sort of getting more excited about the company, or are they sort of like in recent indications getting a little bit less excited about the company? In that regard, you can get a little bit of an indication maybe. And kind of the broader thing that I want to point out is, think about this with the block trade. With most of these block trades, you can almost always guarantee that it's going to be an institution. So why is that notable? Well, institutions obviously lead the market. If you know that an institution is doing something in Activision Blizzard or Harley-Davidson, for example, it's more meaningful than if you or I are trading it, Mike, because we don't mean too much right now, actually.
Yeah, putting up,
what's 59 mil?
Just about, yeah.
59 million or so. So
you take a check?
No. So again, use these block trades as an indication that there is some kind of institutional interest there. There's no way that me or you are going to be able to put up this amount of shares. And if you do want to try to get some insight into who might be making that move, you can actually do that too.
Thank you.
So let's see. Did we have Jason get back to us?
Yes, we are going to show him how to search by symbol right after we do the signals.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for waiting a sec, Jason. Okay, so the last one is option. Probably our favorite one. It's probably our most dynamic, probably our most complex BZ signal, Benzinga signal, I would say. So we're watching a ton of, our system is watching a ton of options chains throughout the day. We're watching, the one option chain, we're watching a ton of contracts. We're watching contracts that are in the money. We're watching contracts that are out of the money. We're watching contracts that are very far out of the money. And what we're looking for is we're looking for some kind of unusual activity. How do we define unusual activity? Well, we can use volume for the day against open interest to give us an indication of how much interest that contract has had for today's session. So let me kind of walk you through what this headline is showing you here. Let's use, let me see if I can spot like a very notable one. Let's just use the second one at the top. It's second one from the top is Marriott. So how do we read this? So these signals are going to first give you the ticker. It's going to say Marriott option alert. It's going to give you the contract that is when the contract is going to be expiring here. This looks like a June monthly, I would guess. Also, it's going to give you the price, the strike price. That's $106, and it's going to let you know whether it's a call or a put, if it's to the upside or to the downside, basically. Now you'll see that word sweep on a lot of these option alerts here. What does that word mean? That word means we're taking a lot of the orders from exchanges, from routers who might be, let's say, like under the radar a little bit. They're sort of like under the wiring a little bit. There's a lot of exchanges out there who are sending their orders, they're routing their orders around through a couple different ways. And a normal broker won't always get all of these orders. Our system is, you know, how I kind of think of it, is sweeping all of these orders together and clumping them together. The next number that you're going to see after the word sweep, if it is a sweep, in parentheses here, that's the number of routers or exchanges that we collected that one contract from.
So to make it real easy.
Yep.
They bought these options off 33 different routers.
Well, we can't tell if it was necessarily if somebody was buying or writing
Gotcha.
the options. We just know that there's an order there. And we do know that of this contract right here, the June monthly 106 calls, we sweeped orders from at least 33 routers. Is there a way to kind of like use that number there? I mean, I would say generally the bigger number, the more impactful. And that, again, that's a pretty general statement, but if you see, you know, like a number like 35 on First Solar, it means that there's a lot of players, a lot of routers, a lot of exchanges that are making these orders right now. Generally, just use as an indication of some more interest. So let's keep walking through these real quick. So the first number that you're going to see after at the ask or at the bid, which is describing sort of how the order is coming in, is our volume. So in this Marriott one, we've seen today volume of 834 contracts, traded at a price at $205 per contract. Before today, we saw, and we're getting into open interest here, before today we saw of this contract, only 61 contracts trade. Excuse me, 161. So what this headline is showing to me right now is today, for whatever reason, we don't maybe care about the reason right now, we're seeing that there's at least 7 or 8 times interest in this contract than there is on a normal day.
Excellent.
And then the last little bit there, it's referencing the stock price.
The current stock price.
The current stock price, just to give you a little bit of reference so that if you don't want to, you don't have to go over and mouse over like you see Mike doing here. You can just look in the headline and you can go, okay, we're seeing a little bit of interest in the 106 calls today. The stock's trading around 106.66, so it looks like these are going to be in the money. If everything's good, through the next month to the middle of June, these would be exercisable. Somebody would be able to cash in on this trade.
Excellent. And as we, William, this is for you here. I'm going to show you a quick feature. I can absolutely sort this by my watch list. So I can only see option activity or signals or any type of activity through my watch list. So if I only wanted to see stocks that were important to me, I could just select whichever watch list I would like.
Will you go back and do that real quick?
Yeah.
There's something cool going on here, and it's not totally obvious. Yeah, just go back, go to done. Okay, so let's consider really quickly kind of all the things, all the features, all the tools that you're really, you know, to me it looks like it's pretty easy, compounding here on Benzinga Pro. So think of some things that we're doing here. We're filtering by signals only, right? We're filtering by options, right? You got your option keyword so that you're limiting that. You also got some customization in here. There's a ton of stuff in this feed right now that's missing, and you're only seeing the stuff that you really want to see. So I would, you know, just generally, just as you're getting more familiar, I mean, Mike and I are here doing these webinars so everyone can get more familiar with the platform, but you should really kind of mess around with it yourself. Mess around with sort of the different ways you want to stack all your filtering, the different ways you want to kind of compound the features we're offering here so that you're only getting the stuff that you really want to see. And that's kind of where, you know, the different workspaces come into play. Maybe, you only want to see certain options on your watch list. You want to track those, so you make one workspace, but you also want to be, those are not words, Mike.
No, thank you.
There we go. Let's say you want to be open to getting new option ideas though. So maybe you have, you know, one feed that is only option alerts in your watch list. Maybe the other workspace that you make is all our option alerts. And maybe you can kind of click back and forth and sort of go, okay, I'm keeping track of my options in my watch list. I'm also sort of seeing some of the other option alerts Benzinga is putting out. Maybe they're going to give me an idea on something new I might want to put on my watch list.
Excellent. And just to jump back over here to one of the questions we had about searching a ticker symbol.
Oh, yeah.
So absolutely. All we got to do is type in the ticker symbol, hit enter. You see that I have Ford selected right up here. It's highlighted blue. And now I'm only going to see news on Ford. There was a little bit of news on Ford this week, wasn't there, Brent?
Yep. Some big news about the company's management.
Yep, and you guys will see here, you're like, well, what the heck's going on at 9 o'clock? Why am I seeing this SPY ticker? Well, if you hover over it, you will notice all of these tickers right here are going to be inside this story. So if you wanted to see, what was inside that story, you would see all these, 15 other tickers inside this story. Mm-hmm. So the number next to the ticker is what that is describing.
And let me make just sort of a quick little recommendation here. I'm going to maybe do something that's a little weird if I can here, Mike, but I think you guys are going to like it. You guys and gals are going to like it. So this is how I'm going to show you one way that I use my pro feed. I use my pro feed this way. Every single day, I like to see all of the news items that are coming in. So I basically have my feed unfiltered here. I only have Benzinga wire and Benzinga signals on. I'm getting everything that's coming in real time while it's breaking. What I do is I will open one of these pop-up windows right here. It's just going to pop out a little news feed here. And what I like to do is I will, basically set up the windows so they're a little bit more favorably. Usually how I do it is I will have this window down here like this, where I can maybe only see a couple news items at a time. And I will use this to your question, Jason, about, how you see just one ticker. This is the spot where I'll only browse one ticker at a time. So if I need to do research really quickly on Ford, and I don't want to jeopardize possibly missing a headline coming up here in my top feed with all the breaking headlines, I'll go down here in my second window and I'll use this for my ticker specific searches.
Awesome. And everyone out there might not have 8 screens at their disposal. So if you don't have extra screens, another way you can do it as well is you could actually split your screen into 4s here. And, you could have, just really depending on the strategy and what, the individual wants to see. But yeah, you could set this all up, how you would like to see it, customize it to your own. And so, really it is very customizable. It's made for, you guys to set it up the way you want. And if you can't figure it out, that's what I'm here for. That's what, our support team is here for, to help get you folks set up, to make sure you guys are taking full advantage. And where you find that, you could call us right here. This is the phone number. You can always come over here to settings. And actually, since I'm zoomed in so far, you guys can't see it. But right here, there'll be a help button. You can always chat in with support. That will get you a direct link into myself, Luke, and a few other folks on the team. So, really we are very available for the users. We're really here to try and make sure you guys are taking advantage of all the tools that are at your disposal.